Watering a plastic plant. Being a receptionist is complicated. The job is easy, but not having to choke myself with the phone cord is difficult. The harsh fluorescent glow and the blue light blast my eyes and brain for 8 hours a day. The same menial duties are done, the same conversations are had, and the same types of customers call every day. I have to constantly remind myself, I'm just a receptionist. When coworkers want to quell their boredom with absolutely unnecessary conversations, I'm the first they go to. I have to listen as I'm physically held captive at the reception desk. One coworker mentioned how excellent his mother-in-law's tuna salad was in great detail for 20 minutes. He brought it to the spring potluck. I remember the tuna salad and his story being equally not memorable. My first receptionist job was at a web design and marketing company specifically for self-storage sites. Proudly, my boss made sure his framed plaque with big flashy letters, Inc. 5,000 fastest growing private companies, was displayed on the hallway for everyone to see. I had to dust it weekly to keep it in mint condition and remind everyone that we work for one of the 5,000 fastest growing companies, according to Inc. Isn't that something? The dusting and cleaning wasn't limited to the plaque. Keeping the whole office tidy and clean was part of my tasks. My first and most vivid cleaning memory was the fridge. When I opened the fridge to place my Tupperware, there was hardly any space as it was crammed with everyone else's lunch. I figured the fridge wasn't big enough for the amount of people working here, but then the realization hit. All the lunches were actually mold. The previous receptionist apparently thought cleaning was beneath her, my boss's words, and decided to let pounds of mold grow in the fridge. However, I'm not tolerant of mold. An immediate feeling of hatred and disgust occurs when I see and smell mold. I physically gag. Seeing this infuriates me. Not only is this gross, but only sheer laziness and carelessness can breed a mold empire this big. This isn't happening on my watch. I immediately got the biggest cardboard box I could find and went on an extreme purge mission. This mold was getting exiled. I grabbed and inspected at each container, having to check the majority of them. I witnessed over 50 species of mold within 20 minutes. I could have sold my discovery to a procrastinating fifth grader who didn't do their science fair project that was due the following week. Despite my disgust, it was fascinating to witness various shades of green, fur, some in patches, some more uniform, and lumpy textures encased of foods that weren't recognizable anymore. I thought it'd be a fun game to guess what it used to be pre-mold, but the quantity of containers would prolong the task that I wanted so badly to get over with. After accomplishing this mission, I implemented new rules and sent an email to everyone. If the Tupperware was there for over a week, I was tossing it. No exceptions, no prisoners, just directly into the trash. A coworker complained that was way too harsh and should ask everyone if it was okay for me to throw it away before doing so. I disagreed. She continued to talk shit about me, but that didn't stop me from throwing her overdue Tupperware in the trash. My current receptionist job is at the lumberyard, full of chauvinistic men who believe they run this shit. There's a total of 6 women who work at this location, including me. Some of the men think everything is theirs. I had a couple almonds on my desk to kill boredom, as eating and snacking usually does. I go on my lunch break and come back with an empty cup and all the windows closed on my computer. I immediately sent out an email to the sales team. Hello, sales team. Whoever sat at my desk during my lunch and used point of sale, closed my windows, and ate all my almonds, please do not do that again. You know who you are. Thank you. Best, the receptionist. Someone responds to my email exposing the culprit. The culprit barges into my room. Sorry about that, but I know that if you knew it was me, you'd be okay with it. We're Sagittariuses, we're cool. Also, don't send an email like that to everyone. Don't put me on blast. I didn't put your name. Don't send an email like that. Well, don't sit at my desk and eat my shit again. Others like to comment my appearance. I dressed up for an event after work and a coworker commented that I looked cuter than I normally do today. One salesperson said I've been getting thick lately. Was that creepy? He responded quickly to the dead expression on my face. As a receptionist, the main attraction are the calls. Some days on the phone, I'm the dispatcher helping truck drivers go through construction in the narrow Berkeley streets and assisting old ladies trying to get to the store but don't know which road they are on. Most of the time, I'm the bearer of bad news, announcing there are no lumber salespeople available to answer their call. And often I'm stuck in the middle of a contractor's mental breakdown, telling me that they spent over $10,000 at our company. I searched their account. They only spend around $1,000 a year. Sometimes I become a therapist and they thank me for listening to their rant of how we can run our business better. I'm obligated to thank them too. And of course, thanks for calling. Being a receptionist isn't the worst job in the world. The tasks are simple and they don't follow you home, but the feeling of dread does. And sometimes that's bearable. I work fast, so I get to Googling if US Navy trained dolphins are real. They are. And what the fuck cheese whiz is. I found a recipe. I get to design shitty flyers garnished with barking dogs for the Makitas and tarps that are on promotion in the store. I work on my writing, have access to all the printers and scanners for creating my own flyers and print out zines. For the suffering to be worth it, I have to know where I'm lucky. For example, it's expensive to have a vagina. With the maintenance checks, the scares, the complication of pH levels, the cheaper healthcare I get through this job makes my genitals affordable. A handful of coworkers have my back if I need to have paper served or lumber delivered. And some of the stories I hear and experience, it's undeniable. You can't make this shit up. However, any occasional feelings of stagnancy are real. Each job and opportunity has an expiration date. When I'm losing my mind and gaining feelings of resentment and frustration instead of getting material, it's time to move on. I also have to remember, I'm just a receptionist. I can leave. I don't have to be a receptionist forever.